Okay, and here we go. This is actually episode number two with Lori here, and she is going to tell us a little bit about her son Ethan and what happened, and we'll start from there. So, welcome, Lori.
Hi, thank you. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for giving me your platform to reach out to everyone and speak a little bit. But I'll show you really quickly a picture of Ethan. This is my son, Ethan. He is forever 20, and we lost Ethan on December the 6th, 2022, to fentanyl toxicity. Um, Always worried about him, never really thought it would happen to him. Here we are in a very rural, very rural part of Tennessee, out in Coopertown, where things like this is just really not heard of. You think of it more as in the big cities, but this is where we are. And so it's been, it's been very emotional, very hard. Every day is very hard. But, what our plan is today, Ethan's not coming back. So our goal is to let you know how easy this could happen to you.
You're exactly right. It's, never thought it would happen to us. We kind of lived
Right.
life, and what was the first year like, if you don't mind me asking?
I actually didn't even realize the first year has passed.
Yeah.
I just now realized that and we're 31 months in. And then it wasn't until I guess a video popped up that, I don't even think I lived that first year. The second year is more like he should be here.
Yeah. And is there any other family, brothers, sisters, or?
Yeah, Ava has one sister, Emma. And so, she's 26, but, it's been really hard for all of us.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I've always known I don't want to say I was lucky, but Preston's little brother died
right,
20 years ago. So it wasn't, taken away from the other sibling or anything. So it was,
right.
didn't want to go there. So, and like I said, you said that you're a Christian. I am a Christian as well. I'll bring up something that happened to me when I first found out. I knew I was either going to hate God or go to God at that
Right,
point. And I didn't
right.
know if you could maybe speak a little bit about your faith and anything that maybe helped with, your faith or church or,
Yeah, it's been there's a lot of relief because he's in heaven.
yeah.
So he's up there with some family and friends, and so he's in good hands.
Good.
Life has got to be a lot easier for us down here because I'm not worried about him
Right.
as much. And then I get signs from him. It's nothing for him to tickle my nose and drive me crazy and some of the crazy things that he did. But we definitely have signs, and we'll see him again someday.
Good. Okay. And I guess, when did you decide, and I hopefully you can go into what your purpose is, what this whole thing is about, is trying to show people that, there is hope after this. And some people do,
Right,
walk, some people do, write songs, things of that nature.
right.
When did it hit you that you wanted to maybe do something?
I guess when I was just looking on Facebook, and I ran across Lost Voices of Fentanyl.
Okay.
Then I knew right off the bat, I'm not a big travel person. I don't know much about getting around on airplanes or airports or buses or trains or anything like that. But I just told my daughter, we're going to DC. We'll figure it out when we get there. But we went up to the first rally, and it was exactly what I needed. I
Yeah.
mean, those are my people. So that was very good.
And do you find, I guess, because there's a lot of other people I'm trying to incorporate people together that maybe have lost somebody. And,
Right,
that first year, I didn't really know anybody that had lost
right,
fentanyl. So it's like, I can't talk to anybody about this. And
right.
now it seems like, everybody I talk to now is somebody that's lost somebody.
Oh yeah, somebody knows somebody,
Yeah. And
for sure, for sure. So it's certainly not anything to be embarrassed or ashamed of. I mean, it's never felt like that. It's always been like, oh my God, this can happen to me. It can happen to you.
oh, yeah.
100%. I mean, he was a wonderful kid, hilarious, funny, incredibly smart, very talented. Had a ton of friends. We shouldn't be here.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you have the friends and the other, just like most of us do. And we stay strong with each other, is that's the
Right,
best way I
right,
can put it
yeah,
sometimes. But it gets tough a little bit,
it does.
and I know that I laughed because I was speaking at my church 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I said every time my phone dings and it's like a friend request on Facebook,
Right.
that scares me because that means somebody else has lost somebody.
Hmm.
I don't like
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah. It's
it's
exactly right.
yeah.
Probably the last 2 months, I have really got out there and sent a whole lot of friend requests. And mainly that's because I'm trying to get a little bit of information out there about the walk that we're holding in Springfield. And my biggest fear, I guess, is that nobody's going to show up.
Oh.
I've never done this, and I'm like, what if nobody shows up? So that's you know, kind of like why I'm reaching out and letting folks know that we are doing this. And
Okay.
I had originally reserved a big Centennial Park in Nashville, middle of Nashville, thinking that, oh, it's going to be the center of Tennessee, and everybody's going to come from everywhere. It's going to just be great. But then I kind of pulled, stopped that, and we're just taking it to our hometown here in Springfield. There's just as many local folks that's dealing with this as there are statewide folks.
Yeah. I will say one thing when you say I hope a lot of you're worried a lot of people might not show up. We
Yeah.
Texas Against Fentanyl, we did a big event down on the border last year, and a friend of mine, I won't mention his name on here, but he said, "Do you think we're going to have a big turnout?" And I said, I used to think that too. I'm worried about a big turnout. And I said, but
Yes.
I spoke to the second largest high school in the United States, 7,000 students. And am I going to get the message across to every person? So my mentality now is whether there's one person or 1,000 people, as long as
Right.
one person walks away
Yes.
and gets it, we've done what we're supposed to.
Yes.
That's my
Exactly.
philosophy. So,
Exactly. So
yeah.
I am out recruiting at least one person to
Do you have a
show up.
local news person there that can help promote it?
I have reached out to every media.
Okay.
Every local station, every newspaper, everything that's out there. They all got a message from me on July the 7th.
Okay.
So it's a little early.
Right.
I'm thinking maybe they're going to come around. So I didn't hear from them in an email. So now I've started cold calling,
Okay.
and I've got about a little over a month to keep after people, and that's just what we'll do. Just keep going.
Well, I have seen people that have started like we just did a beach rally a couple of months ago or something, and it was my first time to go to the third one. This year there
Right,
were 400 families that were along the beach, and I think the
right,
lady that started, she said the first year they maybe had like 10 or 15. So
yes,
and then the news starts showing up saying, "Hey, local mom does this kind of stuff,"
right.
and I'm hoping after you talk about what you're going to do is that we can push this out there and I can share it and I'll put it on Twitter and hopefully get people to share it
Okay,
and as many people because I mean that's the whole thing we do this for is the awareness.
right,
And
right,
I joke and we always say we do this because our club is full. We don't want any more members.
right.
Nobody,
Exactly,
we don't want anybody else.
exactly,
So
exactly.
um uh did the rest of your family want to get involved with doing this as well or
Yeah, we have a big family. There's been a lot of support from folks there. Actually, where I went to high school, we've got still a lot of folks local there. I've got a friend from that I graduated with. She's jumping on board and helping me a lot with marketing and advertisement and stuff like that. Our chamber is aware. They're willing to help us advertise as well. There is a bulletin, sorry, I guess it would be a billboard that we'll be putting information up on the billboard as
good.
well. So really, I think maybe I'm just really early and trying to get it up and running, but I've just been doing a little bit every day for about a year. So I haven't been burnt out, and we're just really getting excited about it.
Good. Before we jump into what you're doing, are there any words that you might say to somebody that just lost somebody? It's
Yeah, I guess immediately when somebody has came to me and told me they lost someone to fentanyl, um, I have not been surprised. And I guess a part of me is like, why aren't you listening to me?
yeah,
Why aren't you? I've been screaming this for 31 months. How could you not how could you let this happen to you, but, why in the world would anybody be surprised?
yeah.
Um, but they're people are, we're losing folks every day. Everybody's grief is different. It's not something that, you may have lost a child in a car accident, or you may have lost a child for, to medical, to, cancer, or other things, but we're different. This is a whole different club. Nobody gets it unless you have lost a child to fentanyl.
Yeah,
Um, you just you can't, it's not like, oh, I can go talk to your, so and so's mom because he just passed because, this happened to him. We're not the same.
right. It is totally
Um,
different. And even I remember, I don't know if you ever did a grief share group or anything like that.
no,
I did that right after, and of course it was during COVID, so I couldn't even go anywhere, but it was virtual.
right.
And everybody was talking about, well, my grandmother passed away, or my mother, that was in hospice. It's like
Yeah.
it's totally different, even for that. So, but it's,
Yeah.
I will say, I remember at Preston's funeral, about the fifth person that walked up and said, I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. And I remember the fifth person, I said, be glad you don't.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And the best part, one of the best comments that was made to me is just, I'm so sorry. I don't even know what to say.
That's
And that's perfect.
best thing to
That's
say.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and I try and turn it on people. I will say that somebody come up and said, "Hey, you've lost all of your children.
Right.
The worst thing that's ever happened." And I said, I kind of look at it as a blessing in a way. I had Preston for
Right.
25 years.
Yes.
Some people will never even have that blessing. So
Right. Right. Right.
I don't think I've been
Yeah.
denial, but I do think it's a gift that I had for
Mhm.
25 years, and hopefully I.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Ethan would be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe my mom's doing this. God, Mama, quit doing that." We put him on a billboard in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm sure he was like, "What are you doing?" He would be giving me a lot of crap for this right now, but he wouldn't be surprised either.
yeah.
Not at all.
I always like to joke that it's like with Texas Against Fentanyl, the group that I'm with, there's six of us, five mothers and myself, and
Right.
all of our
Right.
boys are about the same age. And when I
Yes.
did the waterfall tour, I had all six magnets on my car, and
Right.
I know they were joking and laughing, and I teased, and I said, Tucker wanted to ride shotgun today, or
Right. Right. Right.
bitching
Right.
and complaining, and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
Oh yeah, it helps so much because it's like, oh, look at there, my kid's on the top row with Dustin, or
yeah,
here's Ethan, there's Preston, and
yeah,
we just got a new group. It's just a new group of people.
yeah. I know Preston. Preston always wanted to be famous somehow. I never thought it
Yeah.
would be this
Oh
way, of
yeah.
course, but
Oh yeah.
one last question. In Tennessee, just because I know that we've just had two of our first sentencing in my county, do
Uh-huh.
you guys have a law in Tennessee for the murder charge?
Not that I've heard, not that I'm aware of, not that
Okay,
I've
good.
seen. We got a fantastic speaker, several lined up for our walk. He's with Cheatham County Sheriff's Department, Shannon Heflin, and he's going to tell just an incredible story about how they located a seller.
I remember you telling me about this, that they
Yeah, and
went to the guy.
there's just going to be some really, really good stories that I know people are just not going to want to miss. We've got a speaker by the name of Michael Burcham, lost his son, not to fentanyl, but something else. And he's definitely not somebody that you're going to want to miss either. I've reached out to quite a few politicians. We also have a gentleman who I've told he actually is vision impaired. He is in recovery and he wants to speak.
Good.
And I've got a lot of moms that's stepping up local that's going to come up there and say some words too. So we're going to walk around on a walking track. So it's not like some big strenuous hills or mountains or anything that we're going to climb on our walk. It's just a circle, but it'll be a good day. And
Good.
it'll probably rain because I've never attended an event that did not rain. So
Well, at least it won't be too. When is it?
9:20.
9:20. Okay.
It's on September the 20th. Yeah, it's Walk for Lives, and the plan is that the entire country is going to come together on this day, across the country, across the nation, and we're all going to be walking on the same day around the same time to spread awareness.
Oh, the United Against Fentanyl.
It is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Um, is there anything else that you would like to share or promote or anything like that? I mean, except. I mean, because what I'd like to do is maybe just if I don't, do you have a website or anything like that that
We
you?
do, yeah,
Okay,
and I will share a lot of information after we wrap this up. I'll give you a little some flyers, some information. I know registration is up. I do have a web address where you can find out more information, and you can, you can start a walk yourself. This is not something, oh, I'm doing it because this is not one. It's not my walk at all. This is for just strictly for awareness. But you can easily organize your own walk in your own city, your own state, and we've got great guidelines to help you do that as well.
great,
So I'll definitely share on that after this.
perfect. Okay. Um, I thank you for sharing. And now it's, I always say, I wish we wouldn't have met this way.
Right.
And I don't know how many people I've met, but it's just, I know one thing. I know that, I shared Ethan at the Jimenez Waterfalls, I think it was in
Hmm.
uh, the Indian reservation there.
Right.
But the one thing that stood out is when I pulled into the reservation, there was a police officer there that worked in the reservation. And he said, "What are you doing?" And I told him about what I was doing. And the one thing that I said, "Do you have much fentanyl deaths?" And he said, "Thousands on all tribal land, but they go unreported." And that's
Yes.
really so. And then the other thing that I'm trying to help out with is the stigma and shame. Because
Oh
everybody
yeah.
is always like, the first waterfall I went to, this lady said, "What was it like raising a drug addict?" And I said, "Well, my son
Hmm.
wasn't a drug addict." And I
Right.
said, "Second, what's wrong with drug addicts? They never chose that life."
Yeah.
And so the stigma and shame, and I think that's why there's not that much awareness because everybody just thinks that Ethan and Preston, they were just drug addicts
Oh,
that made a choice and
right.
decided to die.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
help with the stigma and shame
Oh yeah. And the other word, we hear is overdose.
oh
And
yeah,
it's
oh yeah.
like, my son didn't overdose, so I don't know where people think that's okay to say. It's strictly he was poisoned. He did not have any knowledge of taking what he had. So that's a big word that's goes a long way whenever you don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we just had an incident last week where an inmate at the Dallas County Jail, the news said Dallas County inmate overdoses, other
Hmm.
prisoner charged with the murder. Well, you can't charge somebody for murder for an overdose. There's your first sign. So just say poison.
Yes.
We all get sick of hearing the word overdose.
Oh yeah.
A
Oh yeah.
a 1 year old is not overdosing.
Correct.
We got an 8 month old in my county. She didn't overdose. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I
Yeah.
wish we could get the messaging across. And well, I thank you so much, Lori. And I will, to let you know, I'm also going to be doing the book. I think I spoke to you about the
Right.
book.
Right. Yeah.
And when I get up to Tennessee, hopefully we can meet in person and go from
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah.
please
We can.
share again, if you'll just say when your walk is, and then I'll put
Yeah, it's Saturday. It's September the 20th, and of course, it is in Springfield, Tennessee. It's at the Martin Luther King Jr. Park there on Main Street, and we'll put all this information together and attach it to this video.
okay. Well, thank you so much, Lori, and please send in the photos and everything, and then I'll put it
Okay,
together and we'll release it as soon as possible.
awesome.
Well, thank you so
Sounds
much.
good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye bye.